Okay, so I'm here with Grant Difford from Waking Giants, and
Mhm.
we're going to be discussing this morning just a little piece on mindset. Grant, you've got a solid background in sort of leadership and corporate leadership and mindset. So, do you want to kick off? Just give us a bit of context. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about your business, and then tell us your thoughts on leadership.
Cool. Well, I am Waking Giants. We're 9 years old. We started as a creative company and really evolved rather than pivoted into key leadership strategy and brand strategy, mainly because, Waking Giants concept was always about potential. So I really obsess about potential. And my key driver in life is impact, the word impact. So potential I see a huge amount of in whether it be in people or organizations. And ultimately, if you can help someone unlock their own potential, that flows down into business. And I particularly believe that business has the opportunity to do really great things. We know it can do really awful things. And what we're seeing right now is probably an 80-20 rule. 80% are doing good things, 20% are doing what they're doing. So that's why Waking Giants it's a belief in the human ability to push further. I come from an endurance background, so Ironman, triathlon, etc. So for me, it's very much about pushing myself in business and physically, and what that means. And I blend the two of triathlon, like entrepreneurship. In triathlon, you've got 3 disciplines, but you've also got the fourth of the transition and nutrition and discipline and doing the work. And ultimately race day is the culmination of several months worth of work. And that mindset is really comes from when you're tired, when you're down, when you're fatigued. Can you go on? Can you go move forward towards that finish line? And ultimately, I feel that leadership is that thing. It's that thing that you have that plan in your mind. You have to tweak it, and forgive me for all the analogies, but you get a puncture. What do? You either get off and fix it or you quit. One of my races in Tauranga once, I got 3 punctures. It was that bad. And in the end, I was like, well, I really don't want to quit. So I stood up for the last 7 Ks to protect my wheel because they'd run out of puncture kits on the course. But I wanted to finish the race. And it was an educated guess that the damage to my bike would be minimal, and it was, and there are those moments right now where, and we've discussed it, there are moments where I've gone, this is just too hard right now. This is really too hard. But what I find, I might go for a run, I might go out with the dogs, but as soon as my brain thinks you want to give up, my mindset kicks in and goes, but no, hold on. You haven't come this far to give up. And 2 weekends ago, I did 70.3 in Taupo on Ironman weekend, and I haven't done one for several years. And I'd had a really horrendous week leading into it in the business, like terrible. And what I did is I used a bunch load of the skills and my mindset to start at the start line with visualization of what I was about to achieve there, and just blocked all of that out.
Yeah.
And I didn't use it as angry fuel. I used my mindset to go, how am I going to move through this race? It's 6 hours of racing. So to me, there are a bunch load of things that I use from my sport in business and backwards and forwards that allow me to sort of slow the swing down between extreme emotion and belligerence of our reality.
Yeah.
And actually, if you can get that swing just slowed right down, what you do is you start to save a lot of that mental energy, between, extreme outcomes. And, well, it'll be fine. And Brené Brown talks about the future is of courageous leaders, and it can be more appropriate now. And she said, well, without data, there is only the story that you tell yourself.
Yeah.
Which is breathtaking, because right now, I think there's too much data around, and no one knows what it's actually, which is real and what's not. So to me, the mindset is, do I stay off my phone and ignore it? Or do I look for things that are coming from credible resources Do I take a breath? Do I think about it? Do I talk to people that I know have insights, and actually then from that decide what I'm going to do? Because to be perfectly honest, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, you open up the Herald and it's got someone in a hazmat suit. So we know what's going on there. So to me, it's about your mindset of what story are you choosing to believe? What are you choosing to understand? And that's kind of, for me, where I've developed my resilience towards the good and the bad in business and in life.
Yeah, I know for me, as this sort of started playing out, you know, and you go through those phases of, there might be a bit of panic, there's unsurety, you know, and then you sort of start looking at the actions that you've got to take to manage your business, your staff, your clients, whatever. You know, and the list of sort of things to do starts to grow. And for me, you know, I knew that the first thing that I had to do was get my mindset right. You know, I've went through the GFC, I've had, you know, been in business a long time, and I realized, you know, if I've got the wrong mindset, or I'm letting myself be swayed, like you say, from the media and from all this data that we're getting bombarded with, I'm going to burn out really quick and just lose, you know, lose focus and lose energy. So I noticed on your website you've got an article, a blog about the Stockdale Paradox, which I we'll put a link in the comments section for anyone wanting to read that. But can you just tell us a bit about that? Give us a breakdown and how you sort of use that yourself.
Yeah, so many business people will have written Jim Collins' Good to Great, and there's a mixed view on how good an example of business methodology is. But within there's the Stockdale Paradox, and I was in the article, I talk about it. It's really simple. You know, if you go to a meeting and you have a great meeting and we're going to win the deal, feeling elated, you come outside, you've got a party.
Back again.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's all good. I'm waiting for the internet, everyone's internet to collapse, and then we really are finished. So carry on the paradox.
Yeah. So think about it. You're in a meeting. You're about to close a deal. You're feeling really good. You know, you're suddenly bulletproof. You go outside and you've got a parking ticket. And what happens there is our emotions will kick in and we'll say, well, what a bad day. This is rubbish. This is not fair, etc., etc., etc. And as humans, we spend a lot of time in fear, and our sort of our emotions play a huge part of how we operate. Just absolute fact. The Stockdale Paradox is about a high-ranking officer in the Second World War, and he basically was a prisoner. And you know, if you're a prisoner of war, none of us can imagine, luckily, hope would be dashed pretty quickly, one would assume. But the Stockdale Paradox is really about accepting the reality of your situation, which is, it's a breathtaking time to look at these things and say, well, hold on, I'm at home, you're at home, we are trapped, whatever language you want to use in our own homes, but we are safe, we are warm, we are dry, we have electric. You know, that's our reality. But at the same time, there is our fear. You know, I'm, you know, talking to my team. I'm probably not sleeping as well as I want to at the moment. I'm determined to drive my business forward, but I've got to be realistic about what we are looking at. I've got friends who've lost their business. That's our reality. However, mindset and the paradox is there are two ways moving forward. We can choose what the future looks like within what we can control. So sick of seeing people talking about all this free time they've got and Netflix and stuff. Well, if I was your employer, guess what? You're now helping me make choices. Now, that sounds cold, but let's just be
the reality.
To your organization. That mean that when decisions are made, they will be made. So to me, the paradox here is And is an example. Yesterday, I jumped online with one of my guys. We're working on some stuff. She goes, I've already done half of it. I'm like, oh, okay. So what I've realized is my team are driven to achieve our goals, or anyway, we just fast tracked a couple. So what I'm doing is choosing what I want my future to look like. I believe it's possible, and hope is not a strategy, but we're going, well, what can we do to be stronger, to be wiser, to protect ourselves? But I think the Stockdale Paradox is great because it allows you to live in the moment, but accept that there is a different outcome in the future.
Yeah.
Right now, this is only my opinion, is that there are a lot of people are in fear of the fear.
Yes. Yeah.
And to me, I'm going, well, there's a couple of tweaks to our strategy. Moving forward, I believe that we're on the right path anyway. This possibly may have helped us strategically create opportunity. So what am I going to do about it? I'm going to sit here and watch Netflix, or I'm going to get on with it.
Yeah.
So the paradox is those two states that you have to run concurrently. And to me, irrelevant of COVID-19, that's a business owner's life. You know, am I going to be able to pay the bills tomorrow? Am I going to make my $10 million BHAG in 5 years' time? And you run these scenarios almost constantly. The only thing right now is we have more things we can't control. We have more fear, and the media, bearing in mind the media searches and values are going up because there's more eyeballs. So that's a reality. So I'm saying, well, don't believe everything you read, because it's being manipulated, because they are taking an opportunity right now. So it's this idea that we are in the present, but we are also in the future. Does that make sense?
It does. In some ways, I guess it's almost practicing the ability to switch off our emotions when we're looking to make decisions and looking at the future, having something to aim for, realizing that there is, this is the current reality. This is what I'm going to deal with. This can happen in the end or in the future. But to do that, I'm going to have to take positive steps to get there, and not be swayed by anything that's happening in the environment around me, and seeing the best of what is around me, rather than focusing on the negative and staying positive. So,
and just to say, I mean, it's really, really important to make sure the influences around you are the right ones. So, for argument's sake, I'm connecting with the people I trust. I'm connecting with my team. I'm connecting with the people who will tell me how it is, and they would expect me the same. Right now, I don't want anyone telling me it's all going to be fine. We know it's all going to be fine. We've been around a few thousand years. These evolutions come. But sitting still and hoping it all works out, metaphorically, yes, sit still, be in your homes, etc. But we're in a connected world. In 4 weeks, hopefully, in 5 weeks, the coming months, business evolution would have just gone through one of the most rapid changes in history. Because at the end of it, there'll be businesses that go, do we need to travel? Do we need to do this? Do we need to do that? Do we need to do the other? There'll be people that go, I really like working at home. I don't like sitting in the traffic for 3 hours a day in Auckland. They'll ask their boss, hey, can I work remotely? And the boss might go, of course. There's a lot of this that will actually work out really well. And I think some of the fear is people maybe understanding their relevancy within that framework. Because they don't know. They just don't know what that looks like, because they've never had to never had to think about it. And that's where that paradox will become really scary.
Yeah, I think for people now, I think it's a really important time to be taking the time to check the temperature out there, and by that I mean having conversations, like you say, with people that you trust, with people that and really just checking in with them, because things are going to evolve very quickly, and being able to make decisions rapidly is going to help a lot of us and help business owners. Being able to foresee things that are happening 2-3 steps down the road and adjusting our sales, so to speak, to counteract that is crucial. So, taking action, talking to people around you, having a solid plan, cutting out the media from, the media noise around us. Focusing on strengthening our business. So if you had a few actionable steps for business owners out there or business leaders in today for sort of, this COVID-19 environment that we're now all, in isolation with, what would they be?
Look, I think it's a really good time to use the extra time you've got. So I've saved an hour a day by not traveling to my office. So have a little bit of a lie in, get some rest, get fresh. I've started walking my dogs in the morning to get some fresh air. And then when I hit my desk, I've got my whiteboard in front of me. I'm looking at every aspect of my business. I've broken it all down. Our financial modeling, our client. I've put our clients on the board, so I'm not forgetting them. Write stuff down. Get it out of your head. In here, it's going to trap you. When it's on a piece of paper, you can go, that's not important. Scrub it out. Work on the next 30 days. All methodology for business is generally working on quarters or financial models or 90 days. A lot what I'm doing now in the coaching work I'm doing is what can happen in the next 30 days, because today I'm going to do a little bit of work on our website, because in 30 days that will help. I'm going to spend half an hour on LinkedIn looking at what people are talking about, commenting, getting some insights, building new connections. I'm going to, what are the things I've been putting off that will be good for when we come out the other side? Just try and be practical. Like, sitting and worrying is not going to help. If there are worries, write it down and go, what is my action? And I did a really great thing. I think it was for the new year. So I wrote a list down of all the things I wasn't happy with across my life. Just real simple. And then on the other side, I wrote what I wanted them to be. And then what I did is I ripped off the negative and threw it away. Because then I say, well, I can live in my past, or I can live in my present or my future. So I've then used that as a mantra, and then that allows me to make decisions. So ultimately, I think the number one thing right now is write stuff down and go, we're no longer doing that. In the future, we're doing this. What does that look like? I read a great article this morning saying, please, please, please don't just assume you have to pivot. Because that can be really difficult. If your market is fragile, we made some decisions in November, which are now unbelievably or believably, depending on how you work with the universe, are now more relevant than ever. So our evolution is...
That could be a mindset thing, you've had the right mindset all the way through, and you're seeing opportunity, and you've evolved your offer over time, to meet different demands.
Yeah, and also with that, we've used data. We've used really good data, talking to people. Hey, look, get on the phone, talk to people. Hey, what are you seeing? Well, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, I'm seeing the other. Look at things like, if you've got a website, look at your analytics. Look at keyword research, look at trending topics, look at all those things that can inform you and go, well, there's a real surge in this, and we're really quite good at that, and it's only 20% of our business. How do we meet that need? It's really straightforward. Another thing I really was thinking about is really understand your customer. It seems really obvious, but
which is always crucial, but now more than ever, right now.
But no one does it. Like, no one knows exactly who their customer is. And that will evolve. So you might have 2 or 3. So that's really important. And I think we absolutely see, and if you don't have any strategy, don't worry. Start really, really simple. What are we going to do in the next 7 days? What does good look like to me? Just keep it really, really simple. If you struggle with discipline around setting objectives and goals, Measure What Matters is a great book by John Doerr. It's how Google basically launched Chrome. It's a methodology from the 70s that's really simple, focused, and it cuts out all of the nonsense. So we have 3 objectives, of which each of them have 3 to 5 key results. So we have a 1-page that drives our business. So if you're into reading or audiobooks and you're thinking about strategy, have a look at that. It's a simplification of long-term strategy done in 3-month blocks, or you could do 30-day blocks. We run our whole business on it, and it helps you omit things. So right now is not do more of the right things. If it doesn't matter, don't waste any time on it, because you're spinning your wheels. And apart from that, yeah, I think keep moving. You've just got to keep moving forward. Standing still is simply not an option, because everyone with good strategies are looking for opportunity. Same thing as marketing. Client texted me yesterday morning, said, "What do you think about our marketing right now?" And I said, well, our goal was to build significant brand nationally for your 3-year plan. I want to be at the start of the list when things need to be done. And he's like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. We'll finish up, and I wouldn't mind speaking to you another time about your experience pivoting your business for those business owners out there that are looking to do that. The end of your blog, there's a line there which really resonated with me, which is all success is on the other side of pain.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. See, look at the service is amazing. My wife bringing me a cup of tea.
Working from home has benefits. So yeah, just that last line, that all success is on the other side of pain, I think is really fitting for a lot of us now. And keeping a positive mindset, putting a plan in place, not overreacting to things, panicking, and just every day taking actions, pulling our customers close to us, showing them value, helping them where we can. So thanks, Grant. It's been awesome chatting to you. And if anyone wants to get in touch with you, if they've got any questions, how's best for sort of people to reach out to you?
I'll put my details below. And look, at the moment, if a lot of this stuff is a real struggle, I'm happy to jump on a call and just listen and help out. And I mean, I guess one thing to finish, what you've just said, bring our customers close, get good strategy, be focused. We should be doing that in the good times and the bad.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I'm here. If anyone needs someone to share some thoughts with, feel free to call.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.